Good morning, Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War, and I am standing right above Doctors Creek on the Perryville Battlefield. And one thing folks don't know about this battlefield, by and large, well, there's a lot they probably don't know. It's a hidden gem out here in the middle of Kentucky, and just a gorgeous, gorgeous battlefield, incredibly well preserved. But one thing a lot of people don't know about this battle is that a lot of it was over water as the armies are marching and campaigning and getting into Kentucky, and as Braxton Bragg and is marching up in this direction, and Don Carlos Buell's coming over from Louisville and trying to stretch that supply train phase. The armies get exhausted, and it's been a hot, hot October, and so these guys are just parched. And one of the very few sources of water they're able to come across is the dried up bed of Doctors Creek, which just has some small algae-filled pools in it. It really becomes tough sledding for these armies. And so eventually during the battle, the Confederates are going to come from that way and sweep back into this direction. The final Federal position is going to be up on that ridge behind me there. But water becomes a super important resource. It's going to be a successful day for Braxton Bragg, who's going to drive the Federals back and drive the Federals back and drive the Federals back. But eventually he's going to realize that only about a third of the Federal Army actually gets into the fight, because Don Carlos Buell doesn't really hear a lot of it and doesn't send two of his three corps into action. So that does give Bragg the chance to withdraw, and he'll eventually pull out of here. And then just a couple days later, it'll rain on these guys. That water finally comes. And just a few days after that, it'll actually be snowing on these guys. So the weather does finally turn, but in many ways that makes this battle here cumulative and cumulative in lots of different ways, campaign-wise and weather-wise. So it's a great day to be out here. Birds are chirping, deer are hopping through the fields around me, and it's just a marvelous battlefield to explore. More than 20 miles of hiking trails here, as well as a convenient little road network that gets you around the battle. So highly recommend you take the opportunity to come out here to Perryville and explore what's really kind of the high watermark of the Confederacy in the West. I'm Chris Mackowski for Emerging Civil War. We'll see you online and on the battlefield.